Welcome to It's Not You, It's Grieve, a safe space to have candid conversations surrounding the many faces of grief. How do you handle the process while moving forward and ultimately getting back to living in the moment? Come on this journey as we navigate grief through the art of storytelling. And now for your host, Ahira Smith.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to an extra special episode of It's Not You, It's Grief. I am Ahira Smith, the grief mending coach. And guess what, you guys? I'm in Atlanta. Well, technically, I'm in Griffin, Georgia. I happen to be on the campus of Southern Crescent Technical College. And I just finished doing a presentation on ambiguous grief. And it was great turnout, great energy. And I felt inclined to end it on a better note by having a live podcast episode with some guests who are in the audience. And I am just so very honored and thankful that they guys showed up. And I definitely want to make sure that you all check them out and support us in this conversation because it was deep. It was deep. It was really heavy. And so first off, I want to bring on stage Dr. K.O.B.E. Lamar. He is a director of K.O.B.E. It is a special organization here on campus that helping with the African-American males to be supportive in not only in their journey in terms of education, but also in their mental wellness. And so, Mr. Lamar, if you would be so kind to come on stage here.
Absolutely.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Definitely do me a favor, tell everybody about K.O.B.E. Let them know what your organization's about and who's there with you. That gentleman in purple. I see you now. I like my purple.
Absolutely.
Don't be sleeping on purple.
This is Mr. Elijah Murphy beside me. He is our K.O.B.E. parliamentarian, but he also happens to be our Student Government Association president. So we are absolutely thrilled to have him represent K.O.B.E. and SGA at the event this evening. But K.O.B.E. is an acronym for Keen on Being Excellent. And so that is what we strive to do both on campus and in the community. In all that we do, we put an extra emphasis on the excellence piece because, as we know, there is a stigma and stereotype associated with African-American men across the country. So we strive to debunk that by being excellent in all that we do, both in our academic endeavors, in the community, when we are representing K.O.B.E. and the college at conferences, et cetera. So that's kind of what we do, focus on academic, career, mental wellness support, and preparing students for life, both on campus and upon graduation.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for being here. I really do appreciate it. Next up, I have Mr. Vincent Webster. Mr. Vincent Webster, I'm about to bring you on stage. You ready? He look all suave and debonair. Look at that. He got the hand all there. Hey, Vincent, introduce yourself to my audience, sir.
Hello, my name is Vincent Webster from Southern Crescent Technical College. I'm the secretary. I happen to be the secretary of K.O.B.E. of Keen on Being Excellent.
Nice. I love it. And last, certainly not least, this gentleman here. He made me feel so welcome when I came into the cafeteria because he was doing his job and he even gave me some of that good sweet tea in Georgia. You know, Georgia be having that good sweet tea. So I'm very appreciative that he decided to stay after work to come in and sit in my presentation. And I have Mr. Ramon Thomas. Mr. Ramon, are you on stage now?
I am. How are you today?
I'm doing well, sir. Please introduce yourself to my audience.
Hello, my name is Ramon Thomas.
Oh, I think you're mute. I think you're muted. I'm going to unmute you.
Yes. Hello. My name is Ramon Thomas, and I'm the vice president of K.O.B.E., Keen on Being Excellent. And I am very excited being here today.
Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. I do appreciate it. So first and foremost, how'd I do?
Great.
Now that everybody else is gone, tell me, give me some feedback. What did you guys think of the presentation overall?
It was great. It started off very, very heavy, like, cause you was getting us ready. You was like, viewer discretion advised. You was letting us know what we was about to say. I started looking around. I looked at Dr. Lamar. I looked at Vince. I looked at Ramon. I'm like, what do we feel to watch? But but the thing about watching stuff like that, like, it brings out your experiences. It make you really think and ponder on, okay, how do I relate? That's why when it followed up the questions, who would you relate with most? Who had like different types of trauma. It makes you think about it. It makes you put its personification. It makes you put yourself in other people's shoes, so you can feel like the empathy and everything that they're going through and related to your experiences and your trauma. So I think you did a very good job of, like I said, empathy, personification, making us feel other people's emotions to get your point across. So
Appreciate it. Awesome. Who else would like to share? The Vince, look like you got something on your mind. Go ahead, bruh. Go ahead. But you tell me what did you think?
I think it's amazing. Not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting this, but it was great. Reminds me of my situations like with my mom, like in 2021 to end of that. My mom's grandfather, my mom's grandfather, he passed. So it was like a real life situation. Like with her like grandmother, when she passed to someone, because that was like her ride and die. Like that was like where my grandmother went, great grandmother went, she went. So it was definitely different. Reminds me of the situation with my mom did, because we don't really talk right now because he doesn't really want the relationship he claims he does, but he does it. My other siblings don't. So I just live it out. My mom, my stepdad, and my sister, my 15-year-old sister. So, but I love them. They're always there for me. My stepdad, he's my real dad. So he's always there for me, no matter what. So do thick and thin.
Thank you for sharing. What about you, Ramon? What did you think of the presentation? Did I do all right?
Yeah, I thought the presentation. I thought the presentation was very informative. I really identified with the section, and when you were talking about the trauma and how do we deal with that, and how do we even begin a conversation to have that. And I know, like, as being a part of the African American community, we, as a group of people, have gone through a lot of trauma, and it's trying to find a place to try to heal that and trying to find a safe space in doing so. So I think that you gave a lot of helpful insight into trying to bridge those type of conversations within our own community.
I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. So a question that I have, because we all have dealt with some type of grief and loss in our life. My question to you is, do you feel that there's enough support out there prior to this conversation? Do you feel there's enough support out there when you're dealing with a loss or grief, especially for men of color?
me personally, I feel like there is, but I just feel like as men and as black men, we just scared to ask for help. I'm fortunate enough to have both parents and stuff, but I know that might not be the case for everyone. So, you know, I feel like there definitely is help out there, but people have to be willing to accept it and realize that, okay, it's a problem and I need help.
I think I would echo that and say that I think there is support, but I think the awareness might be an issue. And the pride and the ego, like Elijah was alluding to, in terms of our community and being Black men, and not necessarily wanting to appear weak or less than in a particular way and express that vulnerability. So I think that contributes to like why some issues might compound and why things might fester a bit longer than they should or need to.
What about you, Ramon? Do you feel that there's enough support out there for men of color when it comes to experiencing grief, loss, or even trauma itself?
um, so maybe to echo Mr. Lamar there. There might be, but the awareness, I feel isn't there because, you know, I feel like, if I need help, where would I go? To your local, clinic or, mental health facility. And then there, is it someone that you can feel comfortable with, within your own culture or sex, male or female or, what have you. So I think we have to probably, get the word out and, people feeling comfortable with where they are because there's a lot of stuff people want to say but they just don't have the right person to say it to. So yeah, I feel there does need to be a little bit more awareness and maybe a little bit more avenues, especially within the culture. you know
And what about you, Vince? Do you feel that there's enough support out there for men of color when it comes to dealing with grief and loss and trauma?
I definitely third that. It's more the awareness, definitely the awareness. Like people, and also people just need to admit that they need help because a lot of people will say like, "Oh, I don't need help," especially when they're going through these situations, stuff like that. Like my dad, my bio dad, my siblings, little ones, they say they don't need help, but they really do. So I definitely say that it's definitely the awareness, and they just need to admit that they need help, and they just need to just deal with it. And there's places, there are resources, and if you really want the help, you can get it. You just have to want it. So it's definitely.
Gotcha, gotcha. I thank you, gentlemen, for that. So my next question is, how has your faith, regardless of your background, your spiritual practice, how has your faith helped you when things got too difficult in terms of a loss or grief, if it has helped?
I'll say like um religion can be a very good backbone for somebody that's going through something, especially like when you really believe in God, you can call, you can ask for things, you can sometimes you can just stop and be like, God, show me the way, show me what I need to do, and he'll show you if it's really in your heart that needs to be shown. And one thing I like to tell people all the time, God not gonna give you what you want. God gonna give you what you need, and you're not gonna be able to accept it until you're ready. So that's one thing to ponder on. But like, yeah, when you're going through something, you can always talk to like your relatives, the people you trust. But if you got that religious backbone, that definitely can help you, and they can help you strive for it. And you know, maybe you, maybe we do die and see the people we love again. You never know.
Anybody else want to take on that one? I know it's a heavy one because everybody's spiritual practice is different. I mean, there's a difference, in terms of upbringing, backgrounds. I know it's different. So there are some people who are more forthcoming in their relationship with their walk with that spiritual being, and then there are those who might have had some struggles with that. But has your spiritual practice helped you in those difficult times?
I'll say for me at least, it's been integral, like been very tied to it. It's a relationship that consistently builds and grows and is never stagnant. And so in times of turmoil or grief or just difficulty, that will be the first place I go to is prayer and meditation and just conversation with God. So I think it is absolutely like tied to overcoming those challenges, and I couldn't imagine not doing it or not having that relationship um, through some of the things I may have either witnessed, helped others go through, gone through myself. Like I know the relationship that I have with God has been present every step of the way.
Thank you. Thank you. So I know I gave you guys a lot of information on our talk. So I'm kind of curious, what's one thing that you felt um what was the takeaway for you with the talk with the talk that we had today? Because it was a lot. And I know you mentioned earlier, Elijah, that it was like there was some triggering moments in there, but what is one thing you feel like you can take away to share with other people regarding this topic of grief and loss?
I actually took a picture of the biggest takeaway I had, and it says one of the hardest things you will ever have to do is grieve the loss of a person who is still alive. And that just related to me in so many ways. Like when they say it hits hard, that actually hit hard because I've seen it happen. It's people in this building this day that I just don't have the same relationship with. It's okay, but like you said, like you don't realize that you grieve those type of things when you really, really do. So that's definitely was my eye-opening moment where it's like, it's real. And you might not realize it, but you're grieving, and there's ways you can help that, conversation, letting it go, whatever just suits the best situation. But that's what definitely hit home for me.
What about you, Vincent? What was the takeaway? Because I did see you get your camera and you taking pictures left and right. I was like, oh, I'm trying to pose. I'm like, pose, 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 say it, pose. So, but what was the takeaway for you during the conversation?
Sometimes just being the bigger person. Like sometimes you just have to let things go, walk away. You can't always hold things over people's head or even hold it over your head or just hold it inside you. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Sometimes you just, like I said, you just have to be the bigger person. Just walk away. Definitely learn how to deal with grief better. Like I didn't realize that it was for real, but it is like real, real. So like it was real talk. So that was one of the biggest takeaways I've learned. Just being the bigger person.
What about you, Ramon? What was the takeaway for you, sir?
The takeaway I got from it, the takeaway I got from it was when you were talking about for instance, like most of the country was traumatized. For instance, I believe like most of the country was traumatized when however long minutes those were. Got a knee put on his neck, and by witnessing that process, we were forced every day. We were bombarded to watch for, however grieving for, accident. There and you go numb after a while. I think so. This material out there is just a lot of material out there to do triggers or whatnot. So it's just just finding your own peace because there's a lot of confusion and constant trauma triggers every day for you out there if you allow it. So I just think we have to be aware of things like that, trying to steer our attention and the negative. So that's the
Absolutely,
biggest thing I
absolutely, and
got.
I appreciate that because you brought up a good point. That thing with George Floyd. I'll be honest with you, I never saw the video. I don't need to see it to know that's going to be trauma. And again, I didn't need to see something that I knew what the end result was because I was going to be triggered all day, like a lot of people. I mean, and even like the stuff that's happened this year alone, like again that plane crash that happened a few weeks ago, that was traumatic for a lot of us in the DC, Maryland area because we were just like, there was people that we knew were flying, or like had a flight coming up, and it was just all over the news. It was like on that reel 24/7, and of course with social media they're going to be replaying that stuff over and over again. It was just like it was too much. So we have to be mindful about that. Interesting enough though, this is a live conversation, and I definitely want to give a shout out to everybody who's watching this on my Facebook, YouTube channel, anybody who is watching it from those of my guests social media, and in fact Somebody very dear to me, like one of my brother and friends from Kentucky State University, Rodney Broom. He had a question for my guest here, and he said, "Do you consider a source of help from your social circle?" So, do you guys feel within your social network, your close friends, do you guys feel that there is a level of help when you guys are experiencing some type of grief or loss? Why or why not?
I feel like, especially like what we're doing, Kobe. I feel like that just it's a sense of we always there for each other. We go in the community and do things. We help each other with our work. We help plan for stuff. After every meeting, we have like a networking session where everybody can tell what they're doing. Like Ramon, I know he does film. Vince, I know you still on work at UPS, my guy. I do music. We all evolve each other with what we do in life. So I feel like, as far as us, I feel like it definitely is. It's definitely it's help. I could call Vincent at any time of night. He a night bird just like me, and we talk, we have fun. We can talk about serious stuff. We also can go have fun. So I definitely feel like that.
And martial
And what?
and martial arts.
Yeah, he does martial arts. Yeah, that's right. I call him the Karate Kid.
I'm gonna call you Bruce Leroy. And if y'all don't know about Bruce Leroy, it's a Black History assignment. Find out, Google Bruce Leroy. That's all I want to say. Bruce Leroy. All right, now don't be. Hey, we got that glow. If you got that glow, again, if you know what Bruce Leroy, my mic has been muted the whole time. Listen, Bruce Leroy. That's a homework assignment. If y'all don't know what Bruce Leroy is, that's your Black History assignment. So go look up Bruce Leroy. So that's cool. That's cool. But what about you, Ramon? Do you have people in your circle to support you when you're dealing with a loss or grief or even with the trauma that you said? Did you feel like you have that support?
In a way, I mean, I just find a lot of inner drive, with myself, and and I guess a little bit meditation, and give it to the universe, and like Yahtzee, see what comes out. You know what I mean? So, um,
Okay. What about you,
yeah,
Dr. Lamar? I mean, I know you're the director, but I also
I
know
do
that
have
there's
something about
there's definitely a level of brothering here, and even that of your own social club, social network circle outside here. Do you feel that there's a strong support in your circle?
I definitely think so. And that's one of the things that I try to instill within Kobe is maybe things that I've experienced in other organizations while I was either a student, while I was in school, or that I may have gained just in other places, and try to bring those experiences through those anecdotes here. But whether it's my family, whether it's my own fraternity brothers, whether it is friends, loved ones, I definitely have community within that, and it helps to unburden, and like you said in the presentation, give yourself permission to grieve whatever you may be going through and whatever you may be experiencing. So having that makes all the difference for me.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it. So, um, one of the things I also encourage people to do when they finally decide to be intentional in their healing, dealing with grief and loss, is, as you said, give people permission to grieve. And following that permission to grieve, honor the grief. And what I mean by honor the grief, not only allow themselves to feel it in that moment, but to celebrate it by acknowledging their birthday, or even, maybe a holiday is coming up that, it was their favorite holiday. So, what are some things that you can just think of off the top of your head that moving forward, just thinking of a loss that might have been a little challenging, especially those who've passed away? What do you feel would be a great way to honor somebody who's no longer here?
I think the best way to do that is like don't, because everyone has their time. It's unavoidable. So I say like obviously they're not here no more, but you can still kind of act like it in a way. You know, you don't have to be sad about them dying. Actually, like, especially if someone was in pain or going through a very unfortunate situation that caused death, you can look at it as at least they're not in pain no more. You know, and it's really a mind thing too. You can't destroy your own life because someone else has passed. So I think it's more of a thing of like looking forward, like, okay, you know, I enjoyed the time that they was here. They're gone now, but let's see how I can improve. Let's see how I can honor their name. You know, that's the biggest thing. Honoring their name, because if they were still here, they wouldn't want you to be negatively impacted by their death. They'll want you to keep going and keep proceeding. So I feel like the best way is just honor their name.
Anybody else?
How would
How would you? Did you think of something that you would like to do to honor a loved one who may not be here?
Did you think of
Vince?
something that you would like to do to honor?
Do the favorite things they do, like, you know, like they're cooking, like, you know, try to make the recipe to, like, you know, just honor their name. You know, just write them letters, cards, like, even though they're not here, but, you know, just have the pictures there, look at the pictures that, you know, reminisce, like, you know, like I had a great time with them, but now they're no longer here, but still just keep them in your spirits, because they're always there for you no matter what. It's not like they're gone forever. They're up there spiritually. So
Facts. What about you, Ramon?
Um, yeah, I feel the best way for that is to celebrate them. You know, like for me, instant, I would, you know, go to the graveside of someone, like a little picnic, sit down and, you know, have some water for them, you know, and, you know, sit down and conversate with them, and ground yourself also, you know. So, you know, get some fresh flowers, give them some water, you know, you honor your ancestors like that, going back to the old ways, and they'll, you know, keep blessing you, you know, throughout your path. So, yeah, you honor yourself, you honor your mother and your father and your relatives, and, you know, keep the bond strong. So yeah.
Facts. I love it. Well, gentlemen, thank you all so much again for joining me on this podcast. We only have a few more minutes. I'm going to turn it over to you all. What is one thing you would like to share with everybody who may be struggling with their loss, whether it's a relationship that has ended after a long time, whether it's somebody who's struggling, who lost a job. We know that there are people who are losing jobs every single day. And of course, we know people are dealing with some health issues, some health challenges, or been recently diagnosed with not good news in terms of their own well-being, and even those who've transitioned. So just what is one thing you would like to share with those who are struggling with their grief and loss? And you know, what could they do that's in their power?
I say the fight is not over unless you quit. You know, be optimistic. It's not the end of the world. You know, just keep going. Work on yourself as much as you can. Do the things you love to do. Enjoy your people. That's a big thing. Enjoy your family members. Enjoy the people you love. Tell them how much you love them, because you never ever know the last time you will talk to them, the last time you will be around them. Because death is sudden. Death can happen to anybody at any time. Like, it could be a car accident that wasn't their fault. It could be. I've heard a crazy story about one time. My teacher, he was talking about how a tree fell and killed both of his buddies. Like, how could he predict that? I've seen on the news before. People ran into a crocodile and died. Crazy, right? Anything can happen. Like, so enjoy your people, enjoy yourself, enjoy your time on this earth, and whatever going on is temporary. It don't last forever.
Crazy, right? Anything can happen. Enjoy your time.
Who else would like to take it? Ramon, what you got? What's one thing you would like to share?
What you got? What's one thing you would like to share?
Well, for a person that's going through it, all I would say is never give up. You know, just keep fighting, and it gets better. You know, it's temporary. Trust it. It's temporary. You know, and it does get better. Never give up. You know, so keep persevering through it.
Vincent, what's one piece of advice would you give somebody who's struggling?
just keep going. Honestly, you can't live your life like like in grief all the time. Like sometimes you just have to put it to the side and just live your life. I know one of my mom's best friends. It was in 2023. Like you said, that was my last time. I call her my aunt. She I saw her at my graduation. I was 17. It was in June, and I never thought that'd be the last time I saw her. And next thing you know, a month or so later, she got a phone call the next morning from my bio desk saying that she had crashed into an excavator and she passed. And I knew, and it even made the news. And when I saw it, that's like, just you got to enjoy the people. Like you said, you have to enjoy the people because I never thought that was going to be the last time I saw her. But I definitely did enjoy her, and I knew she went through some serious pain. Like it took some days for her to get it through, but it was just unbelievable because I'm like, you only get that one life, and you just have to enjoy it while you can. But I was just like, whoa.
Thanks. What about you, Dr. Lamar?
I would say to find your tribe and don't isolate. There's community everywhere, whether it be virtually, whether it be in person. There's no unique circumstance or situation. There's probably someone somewhere experiencing something that you are or that has. So finding ways to connect and to build camaraderie and connection, I think, is absolutely key to overcoming and working through any type of grief, challenge, or trouble that you may be experiencing. So finding community, not isolating, and understanding that, like everyone has said, it does get better.
Great. I love ending it on that note. So again, thank you, gentlemen, so much. I appreciate being in the spotlight with the men of K.O.B.E here of Southern Crescent Technical College in Griffin, Georgia. It has been a pleasure speaking with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for welcoming me here. I hope to get a chance to come back and talk to you guys some more, and just to keep these conversations going. It is essential. And for everybody who joined me on this Tuesday evening, thank you all so much, whether it's my YouTube family, Facebook family. Shout out to everybody. Thank you so much. My name is Ahira Smith. I am the Grief Mending Coach. If you like more information, please visit my website, www.fromgrieftolife. Again, this is another episode of It's Not You, It's Grief. And until then, for everybody who shared something with me and who've experiencing a loss or currently going through a loss right now, you have my condolences to you all. There is support for you, and give yourself the permission to grieve. Honor that grief. More importantly, remember that there still is greatness in the grief because of the lessons and the memories that come with it. So again, thank you all so much for joining us, and I hope you all have a good night. Look, you representing the K.O.B.E. You got that K.O.B.E spotlight. You see the purple K.O.B.E t-shirt. I mean, shoot, I know Dr. Lamar's like having his moment, but he's itching to throw that Kappa Alpha Psi sign up. I know he is. He's ready. He's ready. There you go. Just smile. There you go. I was waiting. And Ramon's like, I'm ready to go. I'm tired. So, but it's all good though, gentlemen. But thank you so much. And everybody, again, take care. Have a good night.
Thank you for listening, being intentional,
I was
and sharing this moment with
waiting. And
us.
Ramon's like, I'm ready to go. I'm
We
tired.
at It's Not You, It's Grief deeply understand the many facets of grieving, and we want to make sure we can be here for you. Again, thank you for listening, and tune in again wherever you subscribe to podcasts. We look forward to seeing you next time. Be well.